very good evening to you from whichever part of the country and the world you're watching us from. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Afarmers Media. I hope you're keeping on well. You had a lovely weekend, just like I did, and it's actually a very wonderful morning. Morning.
Morning.
Wonderful evening. Just tell you a wonderful Monday. That's what I wanted to say. A wonderful Monday as manze mvua inanyesha Kitengela kasi chini. Najua watu leo watacelebrate. Watachoma nyama na kunywa maziwa kwa vile mvua imeonyesha dalili ya kukam. But anyways, thank you so much for joining us. It's now 30 minutes past 3. And this is the Evening Farm Drive with me, Jackie Moore. And in the studio with me, I have one special guest. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Situambia unaitwa nani hata at least.
Nimesema jina mara mingi anyway. My name is Kevin. I'm an agronomist and a guest here. And is it a guest ama mimi wenyeji?
When is zote, when kila kitu.
Nimekuja sana. So I'll take the guest for today. Yes, and thank you for having me, and I'm sure we'll have a very nice discussion regarding this topic.
Yeah, karibuni sana. So today we want to talk about, there's a lot that is happening on the agriculture scene. So many stories happening that have been happening around the world and here in Kenya as well. But the main topic we want to talk about is Africa's agri-food systems. We want to understand what exactly we need to look at the regional transformation priorities for agri-food systems on the continent. This comes in light with the ongoing food crisis in the northern region of Kenya and some other countries like Somalia, Ethiopia, that are facing a drought situation, and many children are malnourished. And others, even livestock, are dying because of the failed rainy seasons. And we'll be linking up with some of the farmers just to find out exactly the state of wherever they're coming from. Right here in Kajiado, actually, we have farmers who have actually ending up to sending their livestock to a tune of around 1,000 Kenya shillings. You can imagine one cow that used to go for 70,000, 80,000, now being sold at 1,000. It's like not even throwaway price.
So it doesn't die. It's just saving the animal, so it doesn't die.
No, you're saving the animal. You're not saving the animal.
At least you're selling to someone who at least can feed it.
Feeding, or probably they're going just to slaughter it.
No, that's why you have to feed first. Before we start, I think of slaughtering it, you have to feed it, because without grass, they are very, very thin.
I know. So yeah, that's the topic we'll be talking about: Africa's agri-food systems. And a promising transformation has already started in Africa's farmlands. Family farmers are increasingly using innovative approaches and scientific research combined with traditional knowledge to increase the productivity of their fields, diversify their crops, boost their nutrition, and build climate resilience. This shift can go much further with the addition of digital tools, increased links to markets, and greater efficiency along agri-food chains, especially if the private sector and national policies also support the effort. So that's in today's show. We look at the regional transformation priorities for agri-food systems in the continent. You're an agronomist, and
Yes.
you've traveled far and wide.
I don't know about far and wide, but
different regions, different soil types. What approaches do governments need to put in place when it comes to transforming our agri-food systems, keeping in mind we have climatic conditions, we have the failed rainy seasons, the pests and diseases that keep changing now and then? What transformation priorities should governments put in place? Don't just talk on the Kenyan perspective, because
okay.
I've been to the Kenyan perspective.
I'll talk to other countries I've been to. Yeah. So what we do differently, let's say start from Ethiopia. I was there for around 8 months, and the government will support the farmers. Like there's pesticides, specifically from the government. If there's any kind of attack, they're cheap, and some are for free.
So the
So you can
subsidy
imagine.
that
That's not even a subsidy. That's not even a subsidy.
we're being told.
That's not a subsidy. That's a big given. Yeah, use it.
You're not buying anything.
You're not buying anything.
Oh, really?
Just using it, yes.
Uh-huh.
Then, but we have to, a government, if it has to be serious, let's say we have water problems. What kind about most countries like now, let's say Somalia, is very, water is very salty. Do we have a filtering systems from the government? If that can work to help support the farmers, the soils, how bad are they? What can be done? What can the government do differently to help these farmers? Is there overuse of chemicals? Is there a way we can transfer soil from point A to point B? Is it to make it kwa shamba? Yes, some things like that can really help. Yeah.
And here in Kenya, what are we not doing? What are we not getting right when it comes to our food system?
Let's say in Kenya, what we've done, the government regulations don't work for us.
Okay.
They're working for cartels, if there's something like that. Like you can't tell me in Kenya the seeds. You bought seeds before, right? The seeds are really expensive. But you go to a country like Tanzania, there's seeds are local, meaning they've cut the cost by 70%. Now you can find the Kenyan onion is retailing at 80 shillings, and the one from Tanzania is coming from at 30 shillings. They can't compete. Yeah.
Very true. Those are the scenarios that we'll be looking at in today's conversation. Remember, you can always tweet us and follow us on Instagram, Twitter at Afarmers with a Z at the end. Also, follow this conversation on our Facebook page at Afarmers Media. We are also live on Africa Farmers Club. Keep the conversation flowing and let us get to know what your thoughts are on with regards to matters Africa's agri-food systems and what needs to be done to transform our systems, even as we have the climatic conditions currently being experienced. But before we delve deeper into our today's topic, let's have a look at some of the stories that are making heads up on the agriculture scene. And the latest is all the way from England in the Great Britain, where Queen Elizabeth II is currently being laid to rest. And I was seeing an article where they were saying, it was an editorial done by one of the newspapers in England, and they were talking about how the Queen was a renowned farmer. Did you know she was a farmer?
I only know of the B-sides, because the news that came up about the beekeeper telling the bees that the queen is dead.
Okay, how do you do that? How do you do that?
I just wonder how do you even block the news?
Like you just
they
go
don't
to
listen.
the hive.
Just walk with them.
You go to the
Say,
hive.
by the way, our boss is no more.
Where?
And it's not a laughing matter.
No, I'm imagining.
You have to put a stone face.
If you go laughing, the bees will
they'll sting you. So you have to put on a serious face.
Yeah, so some of the tributes that they were saying with the Queen's passing, the farming community has lost a great champion of its work. She recognized the integral role agriculture has in shaping the fabric of England. She was a patron of countless farming, animal education, community and environmental organizations, societies and clubs, more than 50. She was a patron of more than 50 clubs, from the Farmers Club to the Fail Pony Society, from the National Federation of Young Farmers to the Royal Agricultural Benevolent Institution.
Wow.
You can imagine. There are so many things that this lady used to...
She was doing a lot in the agricultural industry, yeah?
Yeah, moving on to other stories is there's 127 million programs set up to benefit Nakuru potato farmers. More than 3,000 smallholder potato farmers from Nakuru are set to benefit from a 127 million program aimed at enhancing potato production in the country. The program being implemented under the National Agriculture Rural Inclusive and Growth Project by the Ministry of Agriculture will incorporate promoting mechanized farming of the crop, development of high-quality planting material, and establishment of a cold storage facility. What is your take on that story?
I think on talking of crop zoning, I think Nakuru is leading. Yeah, the best potatoes from Kenya come from Molo, Molo, Nakuru area. Yeah. So if they're getting that kind of help, they'll be able to produce more, produce better, and save for the future. If they're putting up cold storage, that will hold for a long time.
Yeah, but there have been issues with stories to do with markets for the potatoes. Some of them were complaining of low prices, and then there was the issue of KFC where some of the standards were not compatible.
The thing is, KFC, they believe in particular kind of tomato, or potato, not tomato, potato. Yeah. So they actually, most KFC, they import potatoes. Our local ones are for the local production. Me too.
Me, I love those ones.
Yeah, me too. So this thing will help because the storage of potatoes goes a long way in helping the farmers preserve their production and help at least get better prices. Because now if everybody is selling potatoes right now, prices will be either very, very low. But you have a cold storage where you can, it's called holding. You hold your produce for a certain kind of time. Then at the end of the day, you'll be earning better prices. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on mechanization?
But personally, having dealt with the potatoes, it has a lot of work. Planting, harvesting, spraying, and everything. It needs a lot. And if now they're coming, if they're the harvesters, the planters coming in, the sprayers coming in, we're making work easier and making things look better.
Yeah. Very interesting there. And there's another story here on Homa Bay woman reaping millions from cotton farming. Roslyn Anyango narrated how cotton farming enabled her to pay school fees for her children and earn a living for herself. She says that the type of soil and weather in Homa Bay is ideal for cotton farming, and through cooperatives and organized groups, they've been able to earn good profits. This is a story, it's one of the many stories that I've seen actually today. There's another, and I've seen another farmer who is reaping also millions from sunflower farming. Do you think it's the right direction that farmers are now diversifying and moving to other kinds of crops? Because normally we know cash crops are only maize, wheat, but now there's cotton, there's sunflower.
That's a lie. Initially, Nyanza was a giant in cotton production.
Really?
Yes, that's why he had Kikomi.
Really?
The Kisumu cotton millers. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a really nice one, but then again, when things started changing, people moved away from cotton. But if they're tracing their steps back, we have good help and even raise the Kikomi again, start working. Right. That direct employment to people, to help a bit.
How easy or hard is it to put up the cotton farming? Is it easy to plant? Are they planted from seeds? I've never seen
You plant seeds.
I've never seen a cotton crop.
Then the cotton fruit, before it comes, the cotton it comes from a fruit. You know that, right?
It's a fruit?
Yeah, it's a fruit.
How does it look?
And it's edible. We used to eat it when we were young.
No way.
Yeah, growing up in Kisumu, I know many people think I'm a town person. No, I'm a village boy.
So the fruits are like edible?
It's edible, yeah. And it's really nice. It's got that kind of sour taste. It's really nice, yeah.
You need to take me to Kisumu. I need to go and see
And then after it dries, even the cotton now comes out. Yeah.
Okay.
And easy to plant. I used to plant it back in the days. Just from seeds. You plant it then in...
How long do they take to grow?
I think 4 to 6 months. Yeah, you are ready to go and harvest. Yeah.
I'm really interested to learn this kind of crops.
Yeah, people are moving away from the traditional stuffs. Everyday maize, beans, cabbages. Yeah, at least you need to find a way to do these exotic things once again. Yeah, the sunflower, the soya, the cotton. Then all these things are also in feeding animals. We are crying every single day. Our animals are dying. And we don't have the mixes to make their feeds. Yeah.
Talking of which, there's one farmer we are going to call. You hear their story, then you'll understand how dire the drought situation is. But before we get to the farmer, record keeping training for AI service providers. The county government of Uasin Gishu, Department of Agriculture, Livestock Development and Fisheries has trained artificial insemination service providers on digital record keeping that was facilitated by DigiCow to enable a farmer to get analyzed breeding reports in the DigiCow mobile application. According to the acting chief officer livestock, Dr. Philip Biama, and his counterpart for agriculture, the training enables AI service providers to keep digital breeding records that provide real-time reports complete with all necessary information. What's the importance of record keeping? And here they're talking about digital record keeping.
Digital record keeping, also for AI, artificial insemination is very important, right? Because you have to know the history of the cow, the sire, where the sire comes from, the capacity, how many bulls or has he sired, right? And the semen quality. All this will help in the future to avoid also inseminating the same progeny from the same sire. So if you have all these records, will help them keep track of the sperm count, of the AI services, the progenies, or the heifers they've sired, how long ago were they sired, and how long will it give birth? Yes, because sometimes we have the false pregnancy. Today you put AI a cow, then after 9 months it's looking at you like nothing happened. So all these AI quality will improve.
So what's the difference between the digital record keeping and the normal record keeping, like this, the book record keeping?
No, the digital
what
one
are the benefits?
Easily accessible. You're on the go. Let's say you even connect from Ocean Gizu. Hey, where? Hey, whatever that is. Ocean Gizu. Whatever that is, then from your phone you can access everything. Even if you are here, you don't have to go around carrying file, big file, then you start flipping. You can just go and search area, the location, and specifically the cow. You want to know the history. So that will be very easier than the manual ones.
Interesting. Now, moving on to now our topic of discussion today. 1 in 8 people in sub-Saharan Africa is expected to suffer from high malnutrition this year, an increase of almost a third since 2020. At least 36.1 million people across the Horn of Africa are going hungry as Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia experience the worst drought in 40 years, with factors across the 3 countries ranging from 4 failed rain seasons and a potential fifth. Rising cost of living, high inflation, climatic shocks, the Ukraine conflict that has seen wheat and fertilizer shortages, and insecurity indicators point to the situation worsening. Last year, Kenya was ranked 86th out of 117 qualifying countries in the 2019 Global Hunger Index, classifying the country's situation as dire. Now, those are just pointers to show you where we are at as a continent with matters to do with food security. And to delve deeper, what first is your take when you hear of all these, like 1 in 8 people in sub-Saharan Africa might suffer malnutrition or are already malnourished, and looking at some of these factors that are causing our changing in the food agri-systems. What is your take on this?
I think first of all we have poor planning, because every single time we hear there's floods, the asal areas are the worst hit, and where's the water going? If you plan to harvest this water, we can even use them for we don't see rains for 4 seasons.
Imagine, and we are looking
if we harvest when it rains, it rains. Those areas when it rains, it rains. If you know what I mean. And if you can harvest this water, we can use it for longer periods. So that's where first of all we fail. Because from dams, if you get a dam, around this dam you can have farms. These farms will be producing food for these people. And we'll be eliminating hunger problems in those areas. But here we are as a country relying mostly, they will always bring us food from outside. They will say we are hungry, they will bring food every single time. They do that. It's not right.
It's very unfortunate. You can imagine going hungry, some of them even having to skip school because they're hungry. And I want us to talk to one of an expert who deals with farmers in the ASAL regions, just to find out exactly what is the situation on the ground, how does he work with the farmers, so that we can, even before we look at Africa as a continent, let's just first of all get to understand where we are at as a country. And the name, he's called Noah. Noah, not this, not this,
Not our Noah.
not, not this Noah of here. Direct translation. He works with the farmers in the ASAL regions, just to find out a clear picture of what's on the ground. But what would you say, as we wait for Noah to pick the call, would you say that Africa is, where are we at with regards to our food systems? Are we food secure?
We are not. And we are a long way to get there. Because we don't have we are just operating without a plan. Africa is a sleeping giant when it comes to agriculture.
Wow.
We have over 400 million of hectares, good enough for maize, good enough for cassava, good enough for potatoes. But what are you doing with them? Nothing.
Where is the disconnect? Like, is it that the farmers, the government lack information?
It's not even about the farmers lacking information. If we have a plan as a country, let's take for instance Egypt. Egypt is a desert, right? But now they're the highest producer of wheat in Africa. They have something that they were developing something is an artificial river, because they don't have water.
Wow.
So they were making artificial river. They have pipes coming from the sea, and the sea is salty. So they have a filtration system to make that water safe enough for production. What are other countries not doing? Why they're not doing that? And they have a capacity of doing the same.
Probably they don't have the machines. Or
It's not about machines or technology. It's about you having that idea. Yes, and if you want to benefit your farmers, you can make anything possible. Africa, we have water everywhere, but the water is salty mostly, right? But if you can work on a system where we filter this water, because right now even the water you are drinking is filtered, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're filtering it. But now there's bigger systems to filter more water, and the governments can do that. We're only slacking. Yeah, but if you can have that kind of plan, you have what do you want to do? Agricultural plan should be not like roads. Yeah, because roads every other government is coming to do the same. We want to build a road, want to build a road. No, it shouldn't be like that. Take for instance 1 year. If you want to focus on agriculture, as a country, where do you want to achieve? Where do you want to go? What percent of land do we have, and how can we make them arable? Yeah, those are the questions we should be asking ourselves as leaders. Yeah.
I was reading an article where they were mentioning some of the countries in Africa that are really doing good in agriculture, and there was Nigeria, there was Ethiopia, I think even Uganda and Tanzania. What is it that they are doing that we Kenyans are not doing?
Number one is support from the government. Like then also Uganda mostly is very fertile. Yes. Then if you look at the cost of production in this country, is very low. You can't compare it to Kenya. The government support matters a lot when it comes to agriculture. In Kenya, we have all these private companies managing agriculture, from the inputs, fertilizer, you go to the seeds, you go to chemicals, everything. You don't have anything of our own. Yes.
Why don't we have anything of our own?
Because I think the government is benefiting from these people.
How?
Yes, on our sake, they're benefiting, but us, we are suffering.
Because I think the reason why we are failing as farmers here in Kenya is because most of the farmers here in Kenya are failing is because they're taking in a lot of information that, to me, sometimes I feel it's unnecessary. Because why would you go buy a hybrid seed when you can easily make your own seeds from your farm?
From where? Make seeds how?
From your farm.
Wait, how?
Like Sukuma Wiki, you can just make seeds from your farm.
How long
you don't need to go buy like the improved seeds.
How long will it take you to get that seed?
Not long, because I've seen people who actually cut the stem of a sukuma wiki and they just replant it and it grows.
Okay, this is you're talking about the different varieties. You cannot just pick a stem of any and plant, right? Yeah. We have the traditional sukuma wiki we used to do. Just it's called vegetative propagation. You take the stems, they plant them, right?
Yes.
But now pushing these ones should be our main agenda. The African seed system. Yes. African seed system was mainly championed by women in agriculture. And it's a sleeping giant. When that thing we cut it off, all these people with the hybrid seeds, everything hybrid things, every single time is wasting our soils. Like let's say in Tanzania you have the local onions. Same to Ethiopia. If you go for onions, you'll never find a candle tins or from where, no. Unless if you want the hybrid seeds, you get them yourself as a farmer, but not from not everywhere in the stores. In the stores we have the local ones, where there's a farmer doing them. He has the seeds, he sells them to the market cheaply, and they do better.
Exactly, that's the conversation we actually need to have in one of these days, talking about the Africa seed system and the need to preserve our indigenous seeds, because there's a lot that happens, and that's why I'm saying our farmers have a lot of information.
But now you can't rule again the hybrid seeds. You can't rule them out. The times are changing. The climate is changing. We need to adapt. So if you can improve the traditional seed, right? You understand?
Yes.
If you can improve it to do better, to cope with the changing times, it can do well.
You'll tell us more when we come back. We'll be taking a short breather, but do stay with us, because there's still a lot of that is coming up, including our giveaways. And today's trivia question we're asking: using barriers to prevent pests from getting into an area is an example of which type of pest management method? Using barriers to prevent pests from getting into an area is an example of which type of pest management method? Is it biological control, mechanical control, chemical control? Get tweeting and WhatsApping. There's a WhatsApp number on our screens. Also, comment on our Facebook page at Afarmers Media, and you could be the lucky winner who is getting away with one of our gifts this evening. So do stay with us. We'll be back after this break.
Melon is a trailing vine in the gourd family. The word melon can refer to either the plant or specifically to the fruit. Watermelon is a type of melon that is sweet and refreshing fruit. Watermelons can either be grown on home gardens for small-scale farmers or large-scale depending on the market demand. You can either transplant or plant watermelon seeds directly. For best performance, plant watermelons in hot, sunny locations with loose, fertile, well-drained soil that is rich in organic matter. It is best to plant watermelons on raised rows and ensure that the soil pH is between 6.0 to 6.8. On average, it takes around 3 months for a watermelon to grow from seed to mature fruit, with smaller varieties having shorter growing times than larger varieties of watermelon. Watermelon growing, if done rationally and on a scalable basis, can be a good source of income. A nursery bed is a small area of a yard or garden that's used for growing certain selected plants. The goal of a nursery bed is to grow young plants to a certain size at which they can be easily transplanted. A nursery bed can also be used to evaluate plants to see if they are worthy of planting in the larger garden, to observe their growth, habit, and color, or watch them for pests and diseases. A nursery bed is especially helpful for vegetable gardeners practicing succession in planting, in which a steady supply of fresh produce is maintained.
Welcome back, and you're still watching and listening and tuned to the evening farm drive with me, Jackie Moore, and today we are talking about the African food systems and what needs to be done to transform the agri-food systems in the continent. And as Kelvin is saying, the farmers also need to governments need to plan, and farmers
need to have a good plan. The farmers shape up.
Yes. So now we want to talk to one of the farmers here in County 034, Kajiado County. He's a livestock keeper, and even as you talk about farmers needing to shape up, they're also being shaped up, with the changes in climate.
Yes, it's called character development.
Character development.
Stop masking it nicely.
Yes, so he's one of the farmers, he has done livestock keeping all his life, from the time he was young to now he's grown old. But even they've been having these challenges to do with the rain and everything, but he's still stuck on livestock keeping. As in, I don't know if Kelvin, probably you'll try and convince him to change his lifestyle, Yeah, so as we wait for him to pick up, what is the common type of farming that is practiced in Africa?
Subsistence.
Yes, Moses, karibu sana kwa show yetu. Umeshindaje? Salama sana. Sasa wasikilizaji wetu wanataka kujua vizuri, wajue wewe ni nani, unafanya ukulima gani, kutoka wapi? Mimi naitwa Moses Kevio. Mimi ni mkulima mfugaji. Niko sehemu Kajiado County. Na area inaitwa Agrifood. Sasa kutoka wakati tuliongea bado mlikuwa mnasema mnangoja mvua. Mvua hii ilinyesha, mifugo wanaendeleaje? Kulikuwa na wakati mwingine hiyo miaka ilipita mlikuwa mnatembeza ng'ombe, nini ilikuja ikabadilika? Wakati huu tunaona watu wamekaa na ng'ombe zao kwa maboma yao.
Inyeshe ikatae kunyesha imalizikie nyumbani.
Wow. Sasa leo niko na expert hapa kwa studio, sijui kama ako na swali anataka kukuuliza kuhusu hii maneno ya ufugaji. Anauliza utabadilisha hii ukulima unafanya lini? Hebu acha akuongeleshe kwanza.
Noah. Habari ya leo.
Nzuri sana.
Sasa mimi niko na swali. Ile shamba uko nayo na zile ng'ombe uko nazo zinatoshana?
Haitoshangi, lakini mvua ikinyesha inatoshanga, maana nakatanga nyasi wakati ya mvua ikinyesha nyasi.
Lakini sasa inafaa
Kuna nyasi ambayo wakati mvua ikija itakuwa na shida.
lakini sasa kukinyesha vizuri na nyasi kwa mingi, mbona msikate mweke kama stock ya kiangazi?
Ikinyesha mvua mzuri nakatanga nyasi.
Mnakata mnaeka?
Unatoa nyasi na weka. Kiangazi ikija inaendelea kukula, lakini itakula mpaka mahali ambaye mvua imekosea ile vile tunatarajia. Lakini itakuwa inamaliza nyasi.
Hizo ndio shida
Hiyo ndio shida, lakini mvua kama inanyeshanga mimi sina shida.
na kama wewe kawesi pia unapunguza wanyama na kupunguza wanyama.
Hata kama ukibadilisha 2-5 mvua kama hakuna lazima isitakufa. Maana ukikata nyasi sio nyasi
Itaisha.
Alafu sasa unaanza ng'ombe inaanza kukaa.
Pole, lakini mvua itanyesha tu Ndio hivyo.
Kuna point ambayo huyu expert wetu ame raise hapo, anasema ukiona mvua hainyeshi unapunguza mifugo. Wewe unafanyanga hivyo? Pengine ukiona mvua imechelewa kunyesha unapunguza mifugo, unaweka zile zenye unawezana nazo?
Hata mimi siongoji mvua. Mimi nafanya tu sindikona na kupunguza kufanisha kazi. Unajua hiyo ufugaji sasa ni kama duka. Unaona duka? Unauza. Hata hizo tunauza. Na hiyo ndio chakula yetu, hiyo ndio unauza kwa shughuli ya maisha. School fees, mambo zingine, chakula ya nyumbani. Hiyo ndio tunafanya. Sio ni kuana ng'ombe sasa unaanga na unajua ni
Sasa Masai mnajulikana mnakulanga tu ng'ombe, maziwa. Ni chakula kingine gani sasa kwa wakati wa kiangazi pengine ng'ombe wamedhoofika?
watu wa zamani kuanzia 1950s, 60s. Huwezi tumepungua sana tunalima. Tuangalie ng'ombe peke yake, maana mambo sija. Dunia imejaa kwanza. Zamani mtu hakuna kwake. Basi huwezi kila mtu wako na kwake na uko na watoto, kwa hiyo kashamba. Lazima ulime ufanyishe vitu zingine, maana utapata kwako. Zamani ukisikia Wamasai wakuli chakula ingine, maana hiyo tu ndio ipo. Na una kwako dunia nzima hakuna jaja. Lakini wakati wamekuja kukata mashamba kila mtu awe kwake. Mambo imekuwa mpaka kubadilisha hata maisha.
Inabidi. Tumeshukuru sana Moses kwa muda wako. Bado tutaendelea tu kukupigia, kukujulia hali, kuona vile situation iko. Aya. So that's the situation, and that is only just here in Kajiado County. Unasikia wanauza mifugo hata waongojea ati sasa wanaongojea ati ni mvua ati nyasi zitamea.
Nimekuwa huko Toroto. Ni hapa chini uje kwa wapi?
Najua hapa
Wapi?
kabla ufike Isinyi.
Ni huko lakini.
No, si unateremka hivi alafu unarudi na hivyo.
Okay, Kisaju. Ni Kisaju unaingia hivi ndani Niko kwa hapo niona mbuzi zinakufa sana. Hakuna nyasi, hakuna kitu, mtu akana mbuzi kama 60 kwa compound. Labda tu mchanga ile itakufa ikufe.
Wow. Wow,
But ni maisha ngumu tayari.
that is very sad. It's very sad. And sasa, what should farmers like Moses here do? Like right now they are facing this crisis. What should they do in the coming years? Probably their heart is in livestock keeping.
It's something they've been doing for long, so they should be knowing. I have this amount of animals. When it doesn't rain, they will eat such amount of feeds per day. You don't just plan for 6 months. Let's say the drought gets of 6 months. You don't just plan for 6 months. Plan for a year. Because there's that what if. I think they don't do that. They just plan for this grass we'll cut, we store them. Then again, storage for grass. Most people don't have that. Yeah. So you find at 2 months, you're getting rotten. Throw it away. It doesn't help them again. So if you have a system where you're planning for around, if you have, let's say 100 animals you plan for 6 months, make it 1 year. At least you'll have a surplus. Right? Then even if if you see the stock is getting lower, you can outsource. There are some other areas. I see lorries here coming to Isinya every single day with grass. If you have a full lorry full of hay, in 20 minutes, it's finished.
Wow.
What if you plan earlier? Because right now, it's expensive. It's going around 300 shillings a bale. Most of the time, it's around 180, 150.
It's double.
What if you plan earlier? If you see you are getting lower, you purchase earlier, you get them, and then you store. But again, storage-wise, they don't have. So if they can plan earlier, have storage, outsource, have a supplier, yes, then it'll be just all right. Yeah.
And talking about resilient crops, do we have grass that is resilient, that can grow in any kind of climatic condition? And why is it that these farmers have not embraced it?
Grass, but now, even it will need at least a boost to start it off. Yeah.
Boost
As it
meaning?
wait for water. But now, not over-relying on water is also a problem. So where there's something is a groundwater. Most people use it nowadays. You just put small water, then at least you can retain for longer periods. Yeah, but the right of grass, they're there. Yeah.
Okay, now what are the main challenges in stopping or preventing food insecurity? Because I've mentioned all those challenges that are bringing about the changes in our agri-food systems. So what are the challenges, and what is stopping us from being food secure, that we are facing food insecurity in Africa?
Number one is over-reliance on relief. As we rely so much on the outside donors, that we don't even think. Actually, we don't think. Don't say we don't even think. We don't think. We don't think. Number two, if you're producing, we are over-commercializing everything. Before, we used to do things for subsistence, then we sell only the surplus.
Yeah.
Right now, someone will sell everything and even go and buy food himself. It doesn't have anything to remain. Yeah, we over-commercialize farming nowadays. Also a challenge. Then again, we have poverty. And poverty doesn't relate with farming, but it affects food security. Because if you're poor, you won't have money to even buy anything for your own self, right? So if the government can solve these three things I've talked about, we'll be way ahead. Yeah.
We need people like you to be advising the government so that we see a replica on the ground.
Kuna mtu alisema, people in power don't have ideas.
They don't put them in power in the first place.
Then people who have ideas don't have power. That's what the problem comes in Africa. Na si matusi.
A
disclaimer. Yeah.
What needs to be done for people in dry regions to start getting food, not just food, but healthy, nutritious food? Because even as you're talking at over-reliance on donations and relief food, it's just food that is usually taken, maize, beans. But what needs to be done for people to get healthy, nutritious food?
Have you ever seen the USAID, the beans?
No.
The thing atakuwa kuiva is a long process.
inaitaka resilience.
It's a long process kuiva tu ipike kitu hivi.
Kwani inakaje?
Because mostly they produce them then zinakaushwa na steamer.
Wow.
So inakuwa ngumu, ni ngumu kuiva. Itaiva ndio lakini ita take time. Ikaushwa naturally, at least inaonga na sababu utakonda bado iko at least kuiva ni rahisi, but ikaushwa na steamer. Kuiva it was shida tupu. So what we should do, swali kwa nini nimesahau. Niongea mingi na
for people in their regions to get nutritious
food. Let's say right now in Kenya we have I'll take example for like Kenya. We have county governments.
Yeah.
Each county know its strengths and weaknesses when it comes to farming. Why not organize a trade between the counties?
Yeah,
we have
trade.
A, you have B. I'm in need of B, you are in need of A. Why can't we just trade between ourselves? Like, I know many people, like, there's a time here in Kitengela, people are throwing tomatoes away. But some counties, somewhere else, they're paying up to 100 shillings per kilo.
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen. You talk as governments, as county governments talk to each other. At least you know. But now, ile utu pia awananga boraka the system iko sawa. The people
just like you say, the people in power don't have brains.
No, not brains. Ideas. I didn't say brains. People in power don't have ideas. People with ideas don't have power.
Sorry, by the way. People in power don't have
ideas. Ideas. So yeah, is a matter of talking. Yeah. And Kenya can feed itself if we stand up. But we are always shy of standing up. Yeah, it's like a game of chess. Kila mtu akiamka, it's over. It's all about us standing up. We need A, B, and C, and we need it now.
So it's the farmers who need to be empowered.
Yes, empowering the farmers. Then again, if you are a county government or a government officer, you should work for the people, not the people working for you. That's something we need to sink in our heads.
Yeah.
You are the boss. Yes. So that guy in that office should be working for you. If there's no water, he should know where to get your water.
Yeah.
He has the money. There's funding from the national government. What is he doing with the money? Because you cannot be building roads every single day. So this government will come to build roads at a 1 kilometer at a very expensive rate than normal, which is weird. So if we can just use this resource you are given vizuri, tutakuwa sawa as
because
counties.
Actually most of the time when you hear like even in the budgets, when they're making the budgets, when it comes to matters agriculture, it's only given subsidies,
subsidies,
seeds,
which is not right. We should think ahead. The problem is, don't think 10 years from now. We're thinking for next month, where will you get food? Subsidies comes in. Next month the food should be lower at 150. Let's from the government, let's get some money from the government coffers. Let's put some money there at least to caution the people. How long will that continue? We should be thinking 10 years from now, we should be feeding ourselves as a county. And that too can only happen in agriculture.
Yeah.
You need to eat 3 times a day. Right? That you need a farmer. And that farmer is very, very important in the course of building the nation. Yeah.
Very true. So you're still watching the Evening Farm Drive with me, Jackie Moore, and today's trivia question is using barriers to prevent pests from getting into an area is an example of which type of pest management method? That's using barriers to prevent pests from getting into an area is an example of which type of pest management method? Is it biological control, mechanical control, chemical control? Send in your answers and comments on our Facebook page at Afarmers Media. You can also WhatsApp us, also comment on our Twitter, Instagram pages, and we'll be selecting one of you who will be walking away with our lucky giveaway this evening. And it's now 19 minutes after 4 p.m. We'll be taking a quick breather, but do stay with us as we'll be coming back with our conclusion of today's show. Stay tuned.
Papai ni moja ya tunda mashuhuri kwa kiasi kikubwa nchini Kenya. Pia tunda hili linaweza kuwa na faida mbali na afya katika kukuza uchumi wa mkulima wa zao hili. Pia linaweza kuwa chanzo kikubwa cha pesa za kigeni kwa kuuza nje ya nchi. Uzalishaji wa papai nchini Kenya ni kwa kiasi kidogo ukilinganishwa na mahitaji ya watumiaji. Hivyo inahitajika nguvu zaidi katika uzalishaji wa zao hili.
Zao hili limeshamiri kote nchini kwa kutoa mavuno bora. Ungana nami niweze kufahamisha bayana na kwa undani kuhusu zao hili la paipai.
Beetroot is a highly nutritious root vegetable. The beetroot is the top proportion of a beet plant. It is one of the many varieties of the genus Beta vulgaris, all of which are mostly grown for their edible taproots and leaves. Beetroot is a root crop that takes approximately 3 to 4 months to mature. Beetroot is a fairly easy crop to grow as long as the soil is well cultivated prior to planting. Beetroots do not enjoy wet, boggy or shady soils. Beetroot can be sown in trays and transplanted when the seedlings have 2 true leaves. Plant in full sun, space seedlings 10 to 15 centimeters apart, and rows 20 centimeters to 30 centimeters apart so they have room to grow. Beetroots are also ideal for containers or raised beds. Beetroots will happily thrive in small areas as long as there's at least 20 centimeters depth of soil. Beetroot has been used not only for food but also for treatment for numerous conditions.
Mahindi yamekuwa chakula kikuu katika sehemu nyingi za ulimwengu na jumla ya uzalishaji wa mahindi kuliko ile ya ngano au mchele. Mbali na kuwa mahindi ni chakula, pia hutumiwa kutengeneza ethanoli, chakula cha wanyama na bidhaa zingine. Kunayo mahindi ya gume, mahindi ya ganda, yani popcorn, mahindi ya unga na mahindi matamu. Mahindi yanalimwa sana kote ulimwenguni na kiwango kikubwa cha mahindi hutolewa kila mwaka kuliko nafaka nyingine yoyote. Shamba la mahindi linaweza kutayarishwa kwa kutumia njia za kawaida au za kilimo cha uhifadhi. Kilimo cha kuhifadhi ni pamoja na kunyunyizia dawa za kuulia wadudu zilizopendekezwa na wataalamu wa kilimo. Unaweza kutumia trekta au njia ya mikono kufanya kilimo cha mahindi. Ni muhimu kuandaa ardhi mapema ya kutosha kuruhusu magugu kukauka na kuoza kabla ya kupanda.
And welcome back to the evening farm drive with me Jackie Mo, kama kawa, kama K, niko na K kwa studio. Kumbe neza imba wimbo.
Labda tuzime trauma kichwa.
Hater, when you hater guy. So as we come to a conclusion of today's discussion, what do you think should countries do to make food systems more efficient, inclusive and resilient?
I'll say number one, I must involve more women.
Nice.
In the agricultural sector.
Mm-hmm.
They are the backbone of agriculture in Africa.
Really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They can do what men cannot do.
No, that makes sense coming from a man.
I'm just being real, yeah?
Mm.
These people, they preserved the seed system well enough.
Yeah.
Till they did away with it. Till the men did away with it, right?
Mm.
All right. In incentives and ideology, women and planning, women tend to do better than men. If we can involve them in decision making when it comes to matters of agriculture, we will be a very, very, very food secure nation, and we can will be importing to other countries. Yeah, they just don't rely on importing avocados every single day and tea. We can be doing more. Yeah.
So yours is just focused on women.
Women-centered agriculture.
Yeah.
Is everything. Also having a good plan from the government, a 10-year plan, or just a plan. Have a 10-year plan system, and everything will work out just fine. Then also we have water harvesting. Yes, we can do that. Because Africa, it rains, and they do say if it rains, it pours.
Yes.
Yeah, if we can build dams and harvest this water, because every single time it rains, this water goes to waste.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then after 2 months, we are crying, oh, it's dry. We can water culvert areas. We have a plan with that. Then let us not cut our trees. There was a rule back in the days: if you cut one, plant 3. Nowadays, it doesn't happen. Someone will cut trees, then have a tag on a vehicle: please plant trees.
What?
The irony.
True. Yeah.
You can't be doing that. If you remove something, at least plant again. Yeah, because with the trees, the rains will be coming, and with rains, there will be grass, and with the grass and the green, you'll be assured there's food somewhere else.
Yeah. And I was hoping you're going to mention something to do with the innovations and the digital tools. How can digital tools and transformation help transform Africa's agri-food systems?
If you go to mechanization mostly of agriculture, it will make things easier, do better, plant more, and just not rely on the physical farming. Right now we have it's called what? Hydroponics.
Yes.
How many people are doing that? Very few people.
Very few.
And it's a really nice technology. You don't have to use soil, so meaning you're doing away with most diseases, right? We have then smaller spaces, because right now agriculture is competing with the residential settlements. People are too many. The farming lands, everybody want to go and build a house somewhere. What we do is this: we are taking more of agricultural land. What if we started thinking about the smaller spaces in producing food? If you have there's balcony gardens, right? You have kitchen gardens. How many people are doing that? Then urban agriculture, right? Then we have the management of our environment. That also comes in handy. If we can have, talking about technology, we have all these cars messing up the environment. There's things to convert that pollution coming out to make it safer for the environment. right? And we limit. There's no need. I don't know why people have this thrill of having very many cars, yet you cannot drive them at the same time.
It's a luxury.
I know it's a luxury, but is it really worth it? Or does it really matter when you look at it environmental wise? It is not. A lot of these in Achangia, we are crying climate change, but these are the things breaking our ozone layer, making things. The ice is melting. We need to change that.
Very true.
Where will the polar bears go if that is all melted?
Will be extinct.
Nothing, right? So we need to think. Also, just think always. Before you do anything, ask yourself what that can happen. If you have an answer to that, you have solutions to everything.
Okay. Today leo umekuja na quotes
Na wana philosophers part-time philosopher.
But now when we talk about this climate change and there are all these talks that are going on, there's the upcoming youth summit you were talking about, where the youth will be discussing about how to combat the effects of climate change. There's COP27 that is coming up, and the SDGs they're talking about by 2050 we should have reduced gas emissions. Do you think we are able to do that? Will we ever get to a carbon-free environment where we are now living safely? And what needs to be done, even as we are coming to a conclusion of today's discussion, what needs to be done for us to go back to our olden agri-food systems, the kinds of foods that we used to eat? Should we expect, like now, because there's this climatic conditions, we'll be eating the foods that are just there, we are eating to get full, but not getting the nutritional content? If we walk the talk, we can have all these seminars, the COP27, the climate change, I don't know what, the global, I don't know what. If it all talks, there's nothing that will change. But if you can walk the talk, we can do it. Right now we have electric cars. But have you seen electric charging points? They're using generators. I've not even seen that car itself. How does it look like?
They're using generators to charge these cars. So you tend to wonder why do you just use this car to use diesel in the first place? Because you're saying he's using electricity, but on the other hand, he's going to charge. The charging point, you have a very big diesel engine running the whole day to power this thing. What if we go back to solar? The solar energy, the green energy is very safe. No more gas emissions. And then we limit the cars on the roads. In Kenya, we have around 1 million cars coming in every year. Even more coming in every year. Where are they going?
They're just here.
Just
roaming
here.
around the streets.
You'll find in a compound you have 3 cars. They'll be out all of them throughout the day. Emitting gas everywhere. If you can avoid all these things, I know we're chasing luxury, but there's safer ways doing this. If you want to get these cars, let's just go. If you want to do electric cars, let's go electric cars fully, and the charging points we do solar. Yeah, even if if not solar, use electricity as a backup. Share the solar batteries. Yeah, but if you are going to rely on diesel every single time, then it is dirty, is full of lead. There's this thing full of lead. So even us, not just in the environment, even us personally. Yeah. So each and everything, if we make it work, we can decide to make it work. But now, one thing about these leaders, if you don't know, they love meetings. They will meet to discuss the next meeting. To discuss another meeting. Because they're being paid to sit there. Yeah. So why will you solve something that's benefiting you?
Very unfair.
Yeah. So that's what needs to change. We need to get serious in our meetings and make things work.
But then who is there to counter all this? As you're mentioning, having the electrical cars and even the leaders, who is there like to point out some of these issues that are coming out?
No, that's the problem. Everybody's comfortable. We are at a comfort zone. If it doesn't affect me directly, then I don't care. Which is very wrong. 2 years from now, it will affect you. You had the
not even 2 years. It's already
it's affecting you slowly. I don't know it, but now you are beating your chest. No, it doesn't affect me directly. let it be. Oh, me, I don't have a car, I don't know. You have to talk. If you speak up, I said this is a game of chess. If you rise up, the game is over. Yeah. We need to speak up and hold our leaders to everything they say. If they say you are going to do A, you can do that A. Not giving excuses. Because we'll be giving an excuse every single time, or excuse after excuse. Which is not right. We are the ones who are hurting.
Very true.
And by the end of 50 years from now, we'll be having our children now. Where will they be? Then the life expectancy will be getting. It used to be 100, now 80, 75, 60. I have any fear for my children. They're being told, if you get to 30, is an achievement. Which is very wrong. Things need to change now. Things need to change now. If you want things to work in the future. You have to change now, yeah.
Kelvin, you've been to different countries, Somalia, Ethiopia. Tell us about their eating habits there. What kinds of food do they eat? And would you say they are healthy and nutritious meals? And what kind of farming do they practice?
I think the farming system in Africa almost the same everywhere. But now mostly, like they say, Ethiopia, no, Somalia, start with Somalia. Somalia is, most things are mechanized. Because you find a place from planting, from irrigation, fertilization, everything is mechanized. So they're making things easier for themselves. And Somalia have a temperature of around 41 degrees.
Wow.
Making it hard for crops to grow. But they're managing. So meaning if Kenya is sleeping, there's a giant coming up. I was just here complaining. Most things they import from Kenya.
Wow.
Yeah, they used to import food from Ethiopia. They're exporting food from Ethiopia also. Like in a place in town called Bosaso. Everything comes from Ethiopia and Kenya. The farmers who are there can't even satisfy the local market. Yeah. And they're springing up. Many of them are coming up, meaning in 2 years, 5 years time, they won't need us.
Wow.
They won't need us. And us, we're complaining every single day. We don't have food, yet we're exporting. Meaning there's somewhere, something is amiss. We need to focus on ourselves first. What are we growing? Is it enough for us? There's different part of this country with different types of crops. Why can't we take them there first? Right? When I said government should be talking, the country government should be talking. Yeah. What's missing from my side, I can get from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That bilateral trades between countries is well and good. Yeah. Let's go to Ethiopia. Ethiopia, they're more or less like Kenya. But now the soils might be, some places soils are too saline for growth. But if you go to those areas, they're the best producers of crops.
Wow.
Because they have a plan. And they know this region will do crop A, B, C, and D only. So what can serve in this area. And they have the full support of the government. When the fertilizers come, they come cheaply. If you want to get something new, do it yourself as a farmer. I know farmers who import these Kenyan onions, seeds. They're not even Kenyan. I don't think he is Kenyan. Amiran is come from Israel. It's an Israeli company.
Yeah.
But they import from Kenya, the seeds. So if you want to do it, if you want to go to those things yourself, do it yourself. But now, traditional farmer is supported through the local seed system.
Okay.
Everything they want
So like
is...
they have a system.
they have a system which is working very, very okay. Yeah.
Wow.
And they will go big. They don't shy away from farming. They go big.
Why?
Yeah.
Do they like export their foods to other countries?
For Somalia, actually, number one source of dairy is Somalia. Somalia, Djibouti. Yeah. Because they produce, those guys produce. And they work overnight.
Why? No sleeping.
No sleeping. I report that there's a guy who was harvesting around 19,000 watermelons at night. He only had 2 people.
What?
Yeah. But they did harvest. Even the boss himself, remove your tie. Lori lazima ijaa ipe. Iende Somalia. By morning.
Inapelekwa kama gari ya miraa.
Sindio.
Watermelon pasuke.
So hapo ndio wanatushinda vitu mingi sana kufikiria, then wakulima kujitolea.
Yeah, so the main thing I'm getting there is the governments actually need to come up with the various systems
Yes.
to push agriculture for us to have that transformation and even sustain our food systems, because at the end of the day we are what we eat.
Of course.
Yeah, so that I hope you've learned a thing or two about the agriculture, agri-food systems in the African continent, and we've just have had an overview of some of the countries that we have here in the continent, some of the countries that are doing well in agriculture, as you've had Ethiopia. As you usually see these people, they're just so tiny.
And Ethiopia was nowhere to be seen when it comes to wheat. But I know they're number 2 in Africa.
What? After
Egypt.
exporting wheat.
They're number 2.
Wow. And they're saline as well.
Saline. Mostly the western side the eastern side is saline. Yeah. The
Interesting.
same soil as Narok, but what is Narok doing for us?
I don't.
Nothing.
Because the wheat that comes from Narok is not like.
Actually,
it
most
cannot
wheat
sustain
we
the
use
entire-
in Kenya are imported.
What?
Yeah. So we need to really work on ourselves. We need to really think what are we not doing? Yeah. Because now, like in Narok, we rely on acha tupande ikimea imee kama itamea ni sawa. If we can do more mechanization, I know they have the harvesters there, but it doesn't stop just at the harvester. There's more that needs to be done for us to be a powerhouse in wheat again.
There's a time I was in Narok when the wheat was on the farm, and actually the farmers there keep running after the birds, chasing the birds.
You see?
And I was like, do you have to do like?
You cannot be doing that. You cannot be
the
doing
whole
that.
day,
Yeah.
the entire day, and at night as well.
There's machines for that. There's machines for that. There's things you can do. You are talking about control barriers to prevent pests from getting in. Yes, you can set up those in your farms. Yeah, then know why are you doing this? Why are you going into it? Yeah. Then we also have to be really with ourselves, because sometimes you find, I've met a farmer in Narok. He leased a farm for 4 people. They will come courageously telling you, usiongoje tu jamaa maliza alafu weke na ushamlipa. It doesn't sound nice at all.
What?
Be your honesty. Actually, honesty, number one thing also, honesty is what is derailing us behind in the agricultural system. Yeah. From the seed suppliers, honesty hakuna. From experts, honesty hakuna. From the farmers, hakuna honesty. How can we move like that? Yeah.
You can't.
Because I met a farmer in Thika who was doing chili. The seeds that was sold to him are, let's say, I don't know what happened with them. The chili were at 90 days, no fruit, nothing. They're standard growth, and he's doing everything right.
What?
Honest issues with the seed companies.
What?
Then sometimes you also find a farmer, we take like this, you tell him do A. I know a cheaper chemical I can get somewhere. Shortcut. The limo. Then we have no, we need to do more. First of all, we need to work on our honesty levels. Yeah. If someone starts to do something, do it knowing it's not only helping you, but the generation that is coming to.
Yeah. Exactly. Thank you so much, Kelvin, for making time to have this discussion. I know this is just an introduction of the agri-food system in the continent. We've just started. It was just like a paragraph of the more shows that we'll be doing to our food systems and the ongoing food crisis in the country. Thank you so much, Kelvin, for making time. And for everyone who has enabled this production to be live, thank you so much for also making time to join us in today's edition. We hope to see you again in another edition of the Evening Farm Drive tomorrow, 3 to 5. And we'll be discussing more. I'm hoping to see who has gotten the answer to today's trivia question, where we were asking, using barriers to prevent pests from getting into an area is an example of which type of pest management method? Using barriers to prevent pests from getting into an area is an example of which type of pest management method? Is it biological control, mechanical control, chemical control. I would have asked you Kelvin, but I know unajua hiyo swali itakuwa nimekupatia tu hiyo giveaway. So yeah, so keep bring the tell us the answers to what you think the answer is, and you never know, you could be the lucky winner for today's giveaway. I'm just about to walk out of the studio, but here's just the quote of the day, and it goes, there is not enough food or water. You can run away from the fighting, but you can't escape from the drought. That's Deko Adan or Same, the chair of the Women's Council of Guriela, Northern Somalia.
Like I said, women for agriculture.
Women for agriculture. That's the spirit. I'll be leaving you in the kitchen with Chef Mutandu. I don't know what she's preparing for us today. Hope to see you again tomorrow, same place and time. Goodbye for now.
Welcome to Mutanu's Kitchen. So today we are making something very, very interesting for you guys. We are making cauliflower fried rice. It's very, very healthy. And guess what? I have a guest with me today. He is here. He's going to be entertaining us as we cook. His name is the one and only JB. Let's welcome him.
Hey, ni wewe Chef Mutanu, ni wewe. Hai, ngoja kwanza tu sanitize ndio tuweze ku high five.
Sanitize.
Ni wewe.
Stay safe.
The one and only. Hey. Hata ikuwe high 10. Wow. One and only Chef Mutanu, my goodness. Chef Mutanu, Koinanga Jeff, JB Messenduku. Where we are all healthy all the time. Sindio?
Yes.
Bas. Ati leo unatupikia gani?
So, JB, leo tunapika cauliflower. Have you ever eaten cauliflower?
Ni kali ama ni tamu? Uniambie tu kama ni kali ama ni tamu.
Ni tamu sana.
Hebu nionjeshe kidogo nisikie.
Si ile kali ya ukali. As in kali. Cauliflower.
Cauliflower. Okay, sorry. Hiya kizenge unauma. Ndio hii.
So inakaa hivi. Inakaa hivi.
Yes.
This is how it looks.
Yeah.
So, leo
mbona inafanana ni kama broccoli lakini yenye imebleach. Hii ni broccoli imebleach. Okay.
Yes. So inafanana kama broccoli, same family. Lakini
kwa hivyo umesema ni ma sisters.
Yes, sister na brother.
Sister na brother.
Moja ni white.
Moja ni msungu, mwingine ni green manenos. Okay.
Yeah. So leo tutatengeneza cauliflower rice. Yani hii cauliflower tutaitengeneza ikuwe kama rice. Yeah?
Goja. Cauliflower ipatilike findu vichenja anga.
Yes.
Cauliflower imepatilika imekuwa rice. Sasa safari mtu nyonge pas kama ni chaifu.
Aya. So hii tulikuwa tumeifanya before.
So hii ndio hii cauliflower hii.
Yes.
All grated.
All grated. Yes. So you can just grate it like this. Si tumesanitize sasa mikono.
Tumesanitize tuko sawa. Tuko safe na tuko healthy. Si ndio?
Yes. So una grate tu hivi until you come up with this. Okay. So una grate kila kitu hata mpaka the stalk, the stem.
Yes.
Because it's all healthy.
All healthy, all edible.
Yes.
All
healthy,
time.
all edible.
Yes.
Okay.
Na hii ni fresh from the farm.
Fresh from the farm.
Healthy.
Everything very healthy, very fresh.
So kama wewe ni farmer hapo, unaweza tuletea hapa kwa Chef Mutanu's Kitchen. Boda ni healthy. Very healthy, very organic, very fresh, sindio?
Organic, okay. Yes, very important. Aya, so we can show you the ingredients.
Yes.
Yeah. We have our cauliflower rice. Ile tumegrate. This was about 1 whole head of cauliflower.
Yes.
Alafu onion,
na ni head peke yake. Haina ya form ya head, shoulder, knees and toes. Okay, sorry.
Okay, alafu onion chop.
Ndio hii.
Yes, we've chopped 1 full onion. And then we have our garlic, minced garlic. Tuko na some chili if you want it hot.
Yani filifili kwa ubali. Naongea na mtu. Yani kale ka filifili kwa ubali.
So you like it hot ama mild?
Mimi si ni surprise pass.
Haya. Alafu tuko na hoho zetu. We have the red and the yellow pepper. Sweet pepper.
Sweet pepper.
Yes, sweet
hoho.
pepper.
Hii ni hoho. Mimi najua hoho inakuanga green, lakini wewe Ni kama una paint hizi vitu zako. Hoho imekuaje yellow na ingine red?
Okay, sasa hoho unajua in farming hoho when you let it ripen more ndio inakuwa red ama yellow. Yes.
So ni hii hoho moja ikiwa green inaenda
it turns to either red or yellow.
So temo ina grow up, temo ina change color.
Yes.
Chef Mutano utatumaliza.
Okay. So this is capsicum. Yeah,
Capsicum.
we have our capsicum there. Then we have our chives.
Yeah?
Chives.
Chives.
Yes.
Unajua sisi kwa leo ukisema chives ni chai.
Kwa Kiswahili kitunguu ya matawi.
Kitunguu ya matawi. Yes. Watu wangu wa Mombasani mwasikia kitunguu ya matawi. Lakini umesema kwa Kizungu ni chives.
Yes.
All right. We got chives.
Okay.
We got chives in the building.
Yes.
Yes, because of Chef Mutano. Yes.
Alafu we have our oil and our soy sauce and eggs if you would like. And then our stir fry will be chicken stir fry. So we have our chicken cut into strips.
So umeamua tuko na mama na mtoto hapa.
Yes.
This is a family affair. Okay.
Okay. Yes. So we can start cooking?
Yes.
Yes.
Ni kusaidia aje?
Now we have our pan. We'll just heat our pan.
Unajua kuna mzungu mwingine nilimpata akaniambia kukiwa na chef ule msaidizi anaitwanga aje?
Sous chef.
Sous chef.
So wewe ndio sous chef leo.
Sous chef today. Right. Ni kuassist aje?
So unaweza niwekea mafuta. Thank you.
Kiasi gani?
So you'd like to put?
Bora tu niambie nisichome.
Sawa. Eka tu hizo spoon mbili.
Hivi.
Yes.
Hiyo iko sawa?
Hiyo moja alafu nyingine mbili.
All right. Unasungusi hapa tu ama ukiweka tu itachifanya vile inafanyanga?
Itajisongesha.
Itajisongeza. Aya.
Nice, thank you.
Yes.
So once it's nice and hot like that,
yes.
Next we'll put in our chicken because we want it to brown and cook fast, yeah?
Okay.
Because you can see hizi zote ni vegetables, so zitapikika haraka sana.
Faster.
Yes. So first we'll cook in our chicken. So chicken we just use the breast because it's the softest part and it cooks the fastest. Yes.
Okay.
So our oil is hot. We can use this. So we want it to give a nice sizzle to kieka. So when your pan
umepunguza moto.
Yes, nimepunguza moto juu naona inatoa moshi kidogo.
Okay. So that it's not too hot.
Not too hot.
Yes.
But you want it to be nicely hot.
Yes.
So you see that sound? That's what we want.
So if the oil is too hot, badala ikuwe brown inakuwa indigo. Kitu kama hicho.
Yeah. So tunaweka pia garlic, just 1 teaspoon of garlic.
Okay.
And our salt.
All right.
You can choose to add salt or not because soy sauce iko na chumvi mingi. So we add our heat and stir.
Yeah.
So we want it to become nice golden brown color.
Yes. Kwa hiyo umesema by the time you're done my complexion itakuwa same. Ama mimi
complexion yako na?
Mi hii complexion yangu si golden brown.
Yako ni ka orange.
Ka orange hivi.
Ka red. Okay. So as our chicken continues, we'll also season it. Some soy sauce, just a little, about 1 tablespoon.
All right.
Not too much.
Okay. By the way, Chef Mutano, apart from your passion for cooking, what else do you love doing?
I love traveling. I love music.
Wow.
Music. I love singing, dancing, anything to do with music.
Well, so umesema kidogo tu ni multi-talented. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So you can see now our chicken is nice and
golden brown.
browning. Okay, so
By then ni kweli ukiona hii chicken na Otile Brown wanapelekana hivi.
wanakaribiana.
Chicken Otile Brown, chicken Otile Brown, chicken Otile Brown. Okay.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
we are going to need, we can put these ones closer because this is ndio tutatumia next.
Okay.
The
Naweza
onion.
kusaidia
Yes.
which other?
Your
This one.
onion.
Okay. Put it here standby.
Yeah. Alafu you can add these ones here.
So for this one you need a lot of onions.
Yeah, this is just one onion. Large, a big onion that we chopped here.
Okay.
So one onion is enough because of the quantity of the cauliflower. So to balance.
Balance. Oh.
Very
So umesema sasa wewe ukiwa hapo ati chop my man, sisi tuna chop onions. Okay. Nice. So gani itaingia kwanza, ni onions ama umesema hii ni capsicum?
Yes, hii ni capsicum.
Okay.
Okay. So now our chicken inakaje?
Sinakwambia chicken na Otile Brown zinapelekana hivi. Wow. Hiyo ndio golden brown. All right.
Okay, so you see this nice and brown, yeah?
Yes. Wow, okay.
Okay, so next we put in our chopped onion.
Yes. Okay. Yes, okay.
Our chopped onion, and you can smell the aroma.
Yes. Hey. Watu wa nyumbani mna smell ama tu ni kulegea mnalegea? Vile tuna smell hapa. Hey. Na sasa hiyo kelele inapiga ndio sizzling.
Okay, so as it cooks there,
Yes.
we can be getting our, would you like more chilies ama umesema ni kusurprise?
Uni surprise. Kama ni filifili kwa ubali sawa, kama ni yote pia ni sawa. Unajua wewe nakuamini.
So those are just 2 chilies. Hizo zitatosha.
Yes.
So you just mix it.
Yeah.
So you see the cauliflower, instead of, I'm sure most of us, we have the normal rice nearly every day in our homes.
Yes.
The normal white rice version.
Yes.
Because this is very low in carbs, very low in calories. The normal white rice has high calories.
Yes.
Yeah?
Okay.
So to have less calories in your meal, if you want to lose some weight or to keep healthy, you can opt for the cauliflower rice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ndio iko na less carbs, less calories.
Yes.
So in short, ukitaka kuteshana hivi na ukue healthy. Hey, mimi nakwambia mali nimepitia huwezi toshea. Bora tu usikie Chef Mutanu vile anasema. Unajua kuna mali niliambiwa ati maze mimi ni mifupa tupu. Yaani kukinyesha kunanuka supu kila mahali huko. Na kumbe siko nimejua Chef Mutanu. No, I'm eating very healthy. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Nice.
So now we have our chicken.
Yes.
Yeah. We can add some salt.
All right.
Because these vegetables have, they don't have their own flavor, so we need to build up the flavor.
Yes.
So I'll add just about 1 teaspoon
Yes.
of salt. Yeah.
Okay. Can I
Thank
assist
you.
you here?
Thanks. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's cooking nicely. So next, this will go in last.
Okay. So nikukaribishie
next,
hizi.
Yeah. Next we're going to put in our hizi unakumbuka?
Capsicum.
Yes.
Yes.
Capsicum.
Yes.
Red and yellow capsicum.
At least I'm a good student.
Nice. And I hope utajaribu hii at home.
Lazima.
So also these ones, they don't cook for long.
So colorful.
Yeah? Very colorful.
Beautiful.
You can see it.
Wow. Wow.
You can see how colorful it is, yeah?
We? Na bado
It
hatujamaliza.
looks already delicious.
Yes, it's very, very delicious. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know, this will be your choice. Do you
Okay.
want it with eggs or without?
Which is the best option? Unajua ndio professional, wewe unajua hizi maneno.
Okay.
Wewe unapenda?
We can put it with eggs, yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Because stir fry rice most of the time inakuanga na egg. Yeah. So if you want to put in your egg, you just build a well hapa katikati, hivyo. Then
Yeah. You just need one
break,
egg, oh?
Yes, we'll just use one. So you can break for me the egg.
Hebu nikuulize kama professional na breaking yaje. Unajua sisi tunajivunjanga tu.
Unaweza break either hapa ama unavunja.
Ndio isikuwe na two shells.
Yes. But
So-
we can just break with the spoon. You hit lightly.
Yes. Nice. Yeah, no shells. Wow, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So you just beat it like that.
Yeah.
And then before you put, because I'm seeing it needs a little bit more oil,
Yes.
we can add in about 1 teaspoon
Yeah.
of oil.
Oh, okay.
Just upper katikati so that it doesn't stick.
Okay.
So you just beat your egg and then put it at the center.
Wow, okay.
Thank you. Thanks.
So you said this cauliflower rice
Yes.
comes last.
Yes, it will come in last.
Hii nimeisahau.
Hii
Hii nimesahau kabisa.
nikupatie choices.
Niona kama was a good student. Is it
Is it rosemary,
rosemary?
onion,
Onion, chives.
or dill?
Mimi nasema kama Ruto. Hii lazima ikuwe ni chives. Si ndio?
Correct.
Si ndio? Lazima ikuwe ni chives.
Chives,
Nice. Okay.
Chives. Okay, so our egg is ready.
All right.
Ikianza ku harden hivi,
Yes.
you now stir so that it all cooks.
Yes.
But you just stir at the center. Ipikike
Okay.
so that you don't have the raw egg.
Yeah. All right.
So it's like scrambled egg.
Eggs zinakuanga na scrambled.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see it, yeah? The nice scramble. So it's ready now. Now ikiiva hivyo, then you mix. You mix it all in together.
Hii ni science. Hii ni art and science combined.
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting.
Okay. So lastly, or second last, before we put in our garnish, we'll put in our
Chives.
cauliflower.
Oh, cauliflower.
Cauliflower. Oh, sorry, I told you ni last.
Yeah.
It won't come last. This one will come in as garnish.
Oh.
So hii ndio
Sasa
itakuja
umechange
mwisho.
jina. Ilikuwa chives, sasa ni garnish. Ama
Okay, garnish ni kama madoido. Naona venye msichana anaekanga makeup.
bas.
Yes.
Oh,
So
kwa hivyo hii ni
chakula-
makeup ya chakula.
Yes.
No, inaitwa garnish.
Yeah.
Hey, I've learned something new today.
So next we'll put in our cauliflower rice.
Okay.
So remember we said just to make it you just grate the cauliflower,
Okay.
or if you have a food processor unaweka ndani alafu inaichambua hapo ndani.
Inaichambua kama karanga. Okay.
Okay, so you just put it in and then mix. Then we'll add in our seasoning, salt,
Salt
a
ndio
bit
hii
more
hapa.
salt, about half a teaspoon.
Okay.
Remember the soy sauce iko na salt, so tusieke mingi.
Mingi, okay.
Okay, and then soy sauce.
Soy sauce now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you.
I got you.
Thank you.
Soy sauce. Sasa
that's-
after soy sauce ni hii sasa chives.
Yeah, after soy sauce sasa ni chive.
Yeah. By the way,
So it's nearly ready. I hope you're hungry.
I'm waiting for it. By the way, Chef Mtano, have you heard that in Machakos County there are more than 4,000 cases of teenage pregnancies? You've heard?
Yeah, I heard that. It's quite
Alarming,
unfortunate.
yes. But you know why? It is because of the zile matatu circles wako nazo inachanganya watu. Like wewe unajua any other matatu circle that's not in Machakos, any. Like TMK yoyote. Unaona hiyo ina make sense jina. Lakini sasa za Machakos zina confuse watu sababu Machakos County hizo matatu zao sako ati moja inaitwa Nakamata, Naekana, Nakam. Hata wewe sikuwa pregnant, Nakamata, Naekana, Nakam. Hey! Change the name of the circles, please. Hey!
So that's the reason behind it.
Okay, yes, that's the reason.
Yeah. Okay, so how does our cauliflower rice look? Unaona inakaje?
It's beautiful. Looks delicious. And the aroma is amazing.
Yeah, and you notice it just looks like rice.
Yes,
Sindio?
by the way.
By the way. Yeah.
How is your tofauti? Na vile tofauti inajulikana kwa digestive system sababu hii ni health. Sindio?
Yeah, so you guys mnaona how nice it looks.
Wow.
Kama mchele moja moja.
Yes. Sile ya kushikana.
So it's a very healthy option. Yeah.
Yes.
So these are different ways you can use your cauliflower at home.
Okay.
So you cook it for about 3 to 5 minutes until it softens nicely.
And this cauliflower, can you eat it raw or it is dangerous if it is raw?
You can eat it raw. Yeah.
But it's better to cook.
Yeah, it's tastier to cook because
okay.
at least it absorb the flavors of the spices.
Okay.
Okay, so it's nearly ready. So maybe now we can just arrange our things so that we can plate nicely.
Okay. So you can even this one.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. So, and you notice natumia the low heat so that it doesn't burn because it doesn't have a lot of fat. Yeah. So we just use low heat. It just cooks pole pole.
In Chinese you say isishure.
Isishure in Chinese.
Isishure. Hii vitu vizuri lakini isishure. That's Chinese. Yes. Yeah.
Isishure. Okay. Yeah, si Kikuyu.
Hasa ni Chinese. Hata sasa inaongea tu Chinese. Kawake dance, kawake hinya play. It's Chinese. It is Chinese, yeah.
Okay, so we can taste. I believe we have a spoon we can use to taste. We see if it's if it's ready.
Okay.
Or if the salt is enough. I'll give you to taste the final. Acha nione.
It is okay.
Yeah, the salt is perfect. The salt is nice. So I'll put for you on your plate, you taste here. So lastly, we're going to put in our chives. Yes. Nice. So we just put them in.
Yes.
And it gives a very beautiful finish.
Umesema hii chives ndio makeup ya hii chakula.
Yes.
Okay.
Na si unaona?
Yeah, by the way.
Imeirembesha.
Yeah, imeanza kurembesha.
Nice.
Wow. Hey. Nice. And the aroma, wacha tu.
It smells good. Nice. Okay. So our stir fry cauliflower rice is ready.
It's ready?
Yes.
When? Sasa ndio wakati donge. Wakati wa kukula.
So now I can put for you some so that you can have a taste. Very simple to make, very quick. Yeah.
Chani tafute kijiko.
Okay.
Haya.
Let me.
It is that
for you.
time.
Yes.
It's tasting time. Healthy times. Itakuwa delicious hivyo. Mpaka nasikia kama ni address the nation. We, Wakenya wenzangu, mimi nasema kama rais, hakuna chef mwingine tunatambua, ni chef Mtano peke yake, na mambo yake iko healthy, iko delicious. Hata saa hii wacha nitoroke, sababu nikikaa hapa nitamaliza hii chakula yote. Asante. Follow me at JB Masanduku on all platforms. Si wacha niende hivi nikaa.
So thank you guys very, very much. That was the show. We had cauliflower rice, stir-fried cauliflower rice. I hope you enjoyed. Please try this at home. Don't forget to follow us on our social media handles, Afarmers Media, and also Mutanu's Kitchen. Thank you.